Morning everyone. So we're doing something for the first time today. We're gonna do the intro outro vlog section on the big camera. I got a new lens, so we're gonna test it out and see how you guys like it, because I think it looks amazing compared to the GoPro, but that's just me. And as you guys know, I'm a little bit of like tech geek, camera nerd, whatever. Anyway, we're back out here working for my farmer buddy. Today he's got us on a project where we're basically cleaning us. Can't talk. I'm back out here for my farmer buddy today, and we are on a job where basically we're coming out here and cleaning up somebody else's mess. So what they did is, let's take a look behind me here. They have dredged out this pond, and the homeowner said he's got it opened up about 3 times the size that it originally was. And they threw all the spoils back here to dry out. And for whatever reason, they didn't come back and actually doze the spoils out. So that's what we're here to do. We've got our handy dandy D5 back there that you guys are familiar with. And so we're gonna come in here and shape this area up so that he can have a yard. And then he's already talked about, sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. This is kind of like a moonscape here, and I don't want to bust ass on the camera, you know, because this is an expensive thing to drop. Anyway, he's gonna bring in some topsoil after we're all done, and he'll make this into a yard. So the plan is, I'm gonna try to sneak down to the water's edge here as close as I can. I do have an LGP dozer, so I think I can get pretty dang close to the water. You know, maybe not so much in here where it's pretty steep, you know, right in this area here, but kind of back over to the edge there, I think I can get pretty dang close to the edge. We're gonna take all of this material in here and push it out back that way. He doesn't want to go any further past basically where that dozer blade's sitting, because he's going to put a garden in that area. So we're kind of limited that way for space. So most of it's going to get blown out this way. We're going to take a lot of it and push out towards the tree line here. And then if we walk back this way, we are going to kind of blend this corner as well. So I'm going to tie in here. We are keeping the little tree, but I'm going to tie in here, kind of blend this a little bit better, and a lot of it will push out back that way into the woods. And so that is the plan, to lose a lot of this material. He did say he wants this kind of level, and then we'll just do a taper off the back edge. So it is going to stay pretty elevated, you know, as opposed to where existing grade was. It's probably going to be at least 2 or 3 feet higher than the existing grade was, and then we'll just put a nice taper off the back. So yeah, I honestly don't think this is going to take that long. I'm thinking I'm going to be out of here by probably 2 or 3 o'clock. He did have a company come in. We were laughing about it. He had a company come in and quote him 2 machines with 30 hours on the clock to come out here and do this. And I just laughed, and it's like, no, with that D5 I can knock this out. And I think even 2 o'clock might be calling for a long day. I mean, honestly, there's not that much here because we're keeping it pretty level. It's not going to take that much. So anyway, yeah. So I'm going to fire up the machine while it's warming up. We'll put the drone in the air, get you some drone shots of the thing. And as always, we'll catch you guys in the machine. All right, guys, back in the D5. I'm going to put a little air in this seat. Sitting a little low. Good. All right, here we go. Firing up for the morning. So my goal first thing is just going to be kind of somewhat level this off, and then start trying to lose some of the material on the back here, because there is a lot of piled up stuff. So that's goal number 1. And then once I kind of just get an initial shape, that's when I really start grading. I tell you, there's so many deep ruts in here. We're gonna gonna sneak back here and sneak some material back up front. And when I say sneak, there's not really any sneaking about it. I'm just gonna go back here and dose some material, is what I really mean to say. That deep now, Brian. Calm it down. Now, I'm really hoping that this stuff stays pretty dry. The guy said it was dug out in January. It is currently April, but we've had some good rain move through here in Michigan, so I'm really hoping that this material's dry all the way to the bottom, because I really don't want to deal with nasty soupy stuff as I start to cut, but time will tell here. Trying to do here is just establish a rough grade so that I got something to go off of. Like I said on the intro, we are keeping this little tree. Apparently this guy's wife really likes these little, I think he called them a river birch. I don't know anything about trees, but she likes them. And as we all know, if mama likes it, you better keep it. And this is one of those where I kind of know where my grade's going to end up. So I'm kind of, well, I take that back. I was going to say I'm bag dragging that because I know where my grade's going to end up. We're actually going to change this grade a little bit, so I'm going to start shaping that. Because the sooner I get this all dialed in, the better idea I have on how much material I can lose up here. By the way, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm yelling into the microphone. When I'm in a dozer or a skid, I'm still getting used to having this lav mic that's actually pinned to my chest, as opposed to my old microphone that was sitting on the camera. And with the old microphone, I did have to yell because you guys wouldn't be able to hear me over the dozer, but this lav mic does a decent job of just grabbing my voice. So instead, I just sound like a crazy person that's yelling in the cab.
I can't help it!
I'm just trying to blend this to the existing so that he's got a nice transition there that, you know, with a little bit of dirt and a Harley rake, that'll just be a nice little transition into the existing yard for him, and he can mow and not have any issues. We're just going to blend this down. And so what I'm trying to do, just to kind of recap, what I'm trying to do here is establish an area out in front where I know grade is good. And I'm going to back drag a little bit further than I am right now so I can get in there and spin around in the machine, and then I'll start doing all of my pushing. But since that's a hard blend point that we have to hit, and I know that's where grade's going to end up, that's why I'm kind of getting this dialed in now. Excuse me, sorry, coffee. And then I have a nice little pad that I can work off of, and I know exactly where my grade's gonna have to start and, you know, eventually end up. So that's the plan. That's how I approach these jobs. We're gonna try not to kill Lance's dozer on the trees here. Need to lose some material out here, so we're going to start that push. Well, I thought I was going to be able to take significantly more than that, but there's a bunch of crap mixed in there, and it's wanting to stick together. I think we've got this pretty well dialed in here. So the whole idea is, now that this is dialed in, I don't have to come back and mess with this particular area. This is pretty well what it's going to be here. And I've got a nice pad that I can work off of going this way. Making some passes to smooth off our grade, figure out where our low spots are going to be. Take some of this and push it out to this area that I know I'm going to be short in, and we'll just start dressing this up a little bit. Some of that material out front there might need to come back this way to kind of make this area all, ultimately, let me pay attention to what I'm doing here. Ultimately, we want this whole yard, you know, you can see that section out in front of us, there's not quite enough material there, so if we were to just kind of follow the existing contours, you would have kind of this weird kidney bean shape to the yard. So we're going to take this material off to the left side of my blade, push forward, because I know we need to move this to the other end of the job eventually. So we're going to start with this. Then if I need more material to fill that area, I'll come at it from the other side with those piles that are way out there in front of us, and we'll backfill from that side until we have a nice, consistent contour to the yard. And then we know exactly, you know, we've balanced our material at that point, and then it's just a matter of shaping the rest of it and dressing it up. So I'm going to shut the camera off while I go to town at that. I do have a time lapse running across the pond here that will capture our progress, and I'll hit you guys here in a little bit. So we'll catch you guys in a bit. All right, so we are making good progress to the point that I honestly think I might be out of here by noon. Like really, because we're not shaping the lot all that much. Most of the material staying relatively close to where it is. There ain't a whole heck of a lot left to do. I'm knocking these piles down, and then it's going to be a matter of just kind of shaping everything. I'm going to take some of this decent material and shove it back there in that corner where we had all that wet sticky clay. But yeah, this is really, there is just not that much grade work here to do. I got a little low area area out here that I'll bring some of this material to. But yeah, it's coming along. I'm not actually going to have to burn nearly as much material as I thought. I brought up a couple areas here in the middle. Back over here around the side of the pond where it ties back into the yard, that area was actually, I don't know, probably 8 inches low. There was a hole there, so I burned some material up there. So really, like, I was afraid I was going to have a hard time losing material. I think this is actually going to balance pretty dang perfect. I'm not going to have to make like a weird swale out into the woods like I thought I was going to. I should say as big of a swale as I thought. I'll still have to make a little bit of one, but it's not going to be I thought I was just going to have this random mound out there in the woods just to kind of eat up material, and that is not looking to be the case. Because I got another low area right here I can lose some material in all honesty. In fact, we'll go do that. We'll go pick up a blade full and dump it right there in front of that tree. And I'm sorry that I couldn't get the drone in closer for you, but as you can tell, we're in the woods and those are tall trees, and I can't really get it any closer unless I just have it sitting stagnant in the air, which makes for a super boring shot. I don't know, maybe I'll do another one here shortly where I get it and just sitting over top of me closer in. Whoop, don't take out the birch. We don't want to have an angry wife. So drone battery died, had to switch it out. We are back. We are back. You know, if I put this thing in the pond, again, like on our pipeline, when we were working around our big gas main, we got to document if something goes wrong, right? It would be irresponsible of me to turn off the cameras when we're in this sort of a situation. Like I said, here all I'm trying to do is shape the edge and clean this up. I'm not worried about any of the area that I'm on right now. We'll come up and clean the surface up. I'm just trying to clean this edge up. I am totally operating by feel right now. I cannot see over that edge where my blade is. Trying not to leave huge windrows, but it's kind of hard to do. I'm actually going to put it in float for this one, just because I am out of visual range. That'll help with the windrows. And it doesn't need to be super exact, it's super precise. He is going to come in here and bring topsoil in and seed this, which means he will have a rake out here and do some of the handwork. But, you know, it's one of those things where I'd like to do as nice a job as possible for the guy. Minimize the handwork for him. My drone controller is about to take off, being on this severe slope, so forgive me. The other thing I'm trying to do while I do this, we're actually going to push a little material forward on that and fill that crater. The other thing I'm trying to do while I do this is soften this edge so it's not quite so sharp. Just from the sake of being able to take care of it, mow it, weed eat around it. I'm trying to make it a little bit more of a gentle rolling edge as opposed to just a hard, you know, 45-degree angle. God dang it, I didn't carry enough material to fill that hole. Son of a gun. So we're gonna make another pass at it. We're gonna be a little more aggressive with our blade, and there we go. That ought to fill it. Now let's go grab this windrow, and that should be, yeah, we got her. We got her. Now the key is he's got to seed this relatively quick, or all my good work is going to go to waste with the first couple of rains. Erosion, man.
Yeah, man, you didn't know that?
Yo!
Okay guys, we're done. And so the initial company that came in and bid this said it was going to take 2 machines and about 30 hours worth of work. My little D5 out here, I have been out here for 3.5 hours, and I've spent at least a half hour setting up cameras, getting drone shots, doing all of my filming stuff. So I was able to knock it out in 3 hours. And I will say, I didn't skimp. Like, it's nice, it looks good. So here it is in all of its glory, the finished product. Let me get my hands right on my camera here so I can hold it steady for you. Blend it into the existing. I was actually able to get the vast majority of this edge here. It's not beautiful, but it wasn't going to be beautiful because you're using a dozer in the blind on a super steep slope. So, but at least it's dusted off enough now that he can throw some topsoil down on top of it, and it won't be an issue. Well, like we were talking about in the cab, you kind of take everything to your exit point. This is our exit point, and as you can see, we've got it blended pretty dang well. You're gonna have some small stuff like this. This is not a big deal. You can literally just kick it with your foot. Or obviously if you had a crew here with you, you'd go around with a couple of you with rakes. We would probably spend 2 of us with 2 rakes. I don't know, a half hour, 20 minutes, and we'd have all our windrows knocked down, and it would look super nice. But like I mentioned, he's gonna actually have some guys come in here and bring topsoil and Harley rake all this. So I'm not worried about the like ultra details. I got it close enough that the landscape crew is not gonna have to do any real work. They can literally dump topsoil on this and start Harley raking and they'll be fine. So yeah, I would say that's a good morning, because now I've got half a day that I can go home and edit some video. And yeah, that's not too shabby. So anyway, thanks for following along for this short one. This is one of our baby projects that I've had. So, you know, relatively speaking, this wasn't that big of a deal. So thanks again for watching. We'll catch you guys on the next video.